In this tune I'm going for a relaxed sounding Pete Seeger style with this basic groove. My right hand only moves up and down twice in one bar. With a regular clawhammer technique I would have to move up and down on each of the 4 beats, so double thumbing style, to be able to play all the melody notes. So up and down 4 times instead of 2, making the groove sound rather hyper. So this is my basic chord groove. Now if you want to give a note some extra power, you can use regular clawhammer on top of the beat, something like this. And after that I can switch back to uppicking. So it's frail, frail, thumb, uppick, frail, thumb. So like this. If I play this groove completely in uppicking style, it would sound like this. This is a bit trickier to play, and the note on beat 1 doesn't have a lot of power. Once you get the hang of this combination, you'll actually forget which of the techniques you're actually. We're starting by playing the root C downward, frailing the open strings, and then hammering on the 2nd fret 1st string. Now this is an E note, making the compound sound a C major chord, which is the key that we're in. Right after that, we're playing a pull-off to the open string and playing the open 2nd string. Now that last note is played by uppicking with your index finger, and it's critical that you do to keep the right hand motion fluid and keep the groove relaxed. This is what you get. 1, 2, 3, 4. In combining these techniques, you generally want to avoid playing the same right hand finger twice in a row too close together. It means too much brain activity, which hinders the groove. Which is why we're playing the next melody note with the middle finger downward, so that's beat 3. So from beat 3 it's first the open 1st string on beat 3, followed by the pedal with your thumb, then an uppicked open 2nd string, and then a frail plus a pedal to finish the bar off. This is the complete bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you add that frail and the pedal at the very end. It's kind of muted there. And the note on beat 3, you can make that a single note, playing it like that. But you can also play it chord style. Makes it a little thicker. When you look at beat 4 of bar 1, you see the basic Pete Seeger strum. It's an uppick note, frail with the middle finger down, and then a pedal note with the thumb. Now the uppicked note takes up half a beat, the other 2 each take a quarter of a beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. This structure applies to much of the song and its melodies. You can split the first uppick note in 2 by using left-hand techniques like hammer-ons. So, pull-offs, or slides. And in the middle of the beat, you'll be making a frailing motion downward. You can do this and target one melody note, like I'm doing here, the second string, or make it into a partial chord fill, hitting more notes. The last note of this structure is the pedal note played with the thumb. So beat 1 of bar 2 is structured like this. Each of the parts in a beat can of course be lifted out, creating different grooves. But this is your matrix, and even though the tab might not show this, the right hand motion will be the same throughout. You might not hear the pedal note very clearly when it has a more rhythmic function, and sometimes you'll actually make an effort to stress it. Kind of syncopated there. Same thing with the frailing motion downward. With that in mind, let's take a look at bar 2. I'm starting that with the index finger with a hammer on, then the frailing finger down, pedal. So. Then index finger with a pull-off, middle finger down, that's the 4th fret, 3rd string. And you can insert a pedal there or not. Then index finger up, that's the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. Middle finger down for a partial chord fill. Then a pedal, so that's beat 3. And then index finger up with a pull-off, the 2nd fret of the 1st string. Middle finger down, and there's no pedal. Now, as you can see, we can insert a pedal anywhere in the groove. If we played them all, it would sound like this. In this case, the pedal would sit somewhere in the back, having more of a percussive function. These are the first 2 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now bar 3 and 4 are almost the same, so check the tab for the melody. And note that at the end of a 2-bar pattern you start with a downward frail on the beat, so not with an up-pick note Pete Seeger style. So it's like this. Kind of switch the beat there.